Hey y'all, hey, and welcome to another session of Meditations with Marigny. So, I just finished making one video, but I thought before I went to bed, I would close out with this last one. And I want to share just a little bit of my personal space with you guys. I know I got this camera all close, and that's because I'm trying to do two things at one time. I'm going to try to turn it around. So, I want you guys to see my tree. Well, that's one of them. So that's one of my trees. And then this is an area that I did for my boys because I got all boys in my home. And so I decided to do a Grinch tree this year. And I wanted a small one. I didn't want the real big one. I seen the big one. And that's my wreath that I did. Y'all see the Grinch little, what do you call it, block that I put in there? I thought that was a neat idea. I made that wreath, by the way, for those that might like crafting. And then went to Hobby Lobby and found this cute little picture. It was already marked down, but then it was broken. And when you're a crafter, you can fix anything. And so they ended up, I think he sold that to me for like $4. But I'm gonna take you guys so you can see those two components. And I wanted you all to see just my craftiness. I love to just to give you all an idea, I love to decorate. I've done some crafting and things like that. And I'm going to share with you my little space. I don't typically share this with a lot. My YouTube crowd, I'm going to let y'all see this is my space, my room for me. And oftentimes when the holidays are here, I spend quite a bit of time down here. And because I have all boys in my family, and it's just me, the only girl, I make this kind of my personal space. So that's my tree. That's my girly tree. And I usually put my gifts in here. So those are gifts that people have given me. This is where I put my gifts. And so my boys' gifts were in the other room. But I was sitting here thinking, I just did a video and I uploaded it. And after I finished with it, I was like, man, I really wanted to talk to them about something else. And so I thought I would come on right quick and just have a quick conversation about, since we're at the end of the year, and just kind of talk a little bit about cleaning house. At the end of the year, we look at opportunities to find ways that we can, set resolutions and look at ways to start the new year. But I really would like to talk about closing out the old year, closing out old relationships. I did a video a while back where I was talking about, if we've been asking God for the opportunity to have someone to come into our life, and if we have many open doors that are out there. Now, I'm not talking about people who are dating and vetting for the possibility here. I'm speaking of if you really are looking for God to open a door with you, with someone, have you closed the doors that were open to others? And what do I mean by that? If you have a heart posture for someone, but you are trying to seek out love from someone else, it's difficult oftentimes to open yourself up to a new person if you're still open to that old person. And sometimes the things that we need to do can be as subtle as cleaning out our phone, getting rid of old text messages, getting rid of old pictures. One of the things that I did earlier this year before I decided to come into the dating realm, and I haven't completely done it because it takes a while when you sit down and do it, but I went through my phone and I got rid of like old pictures of like me and ex-boyfriends and people like that. I got rid of those things. I deleted those threads. I went through and maybe relationships that I might have started but didn't really go anywhere. I made sure I began to close those doors. And I'm saying that because if you want to take the opportunity for dating and getting married seriously, you have to look at the little things that you need to do in order to close those doors that might create problems later on. For those of you that follow my channel and you know my story, you know that I was married. And during the time that I was married, one of the issues that we had was infidelity. And one of the things that I had to sit with after that relationship is I had to sit with the fact that the woman that my ex cheated with was in the picture prior to me coming into the picture. And I thought that once he married me, that would change that situation or that circumstance. And it didn't. And it had nothing to do with me from a perspective of my personality trait or anything like that. But it did have a lot to do with me and the things that I accepted. And so I'm now just trying to be more conscientious of making sure that I give to my next person everything that I wanted and wish I had gotten previously. And I'm trying to do it in such a way. Someone said to me, Marnie, like you come off like you, what did they say? Kind of like basically what they were saying is that sometimes I present myself like I'm better than someone else, or, I have flaws as well. And I do. You guys hear me admit that on several of my videos. You hear me talk about the things that I know that are maybe a nuisance to somebody, or that might be something that would really get on one person's nerve. But I think that when people look at me in my totality, you can't just pick at a person and say this one thing about them is something that I don't like, and that makes the situation where I can't deal with them at all, unless, let's put a pin in that, unless it is one of your deal breaker situations. And if it is a deal breaker situation, then you have to be very real with that. You have to be very realistic with your expectations and how you know whether or not you can actually deal with those components within that person. But what I will say about myself, and I will say this about many who are serious of dating and who may be working to present themselves with a level of excellence, is that I am willing to try to work on myself that would help to accommodate my mate. Now, what does that mean? I'm not interested in someone who wants to change for me. In other words, you got to change for yourself. Each one of us have to make the change for ourselves. But if we learn that we do something, or we have a characteristic trait that really agitates our mate or our future mate, then we want to look at, okay, is that something I can really work on? And I used as an example the other day with you guys about being willing to apologize for the spirit of offense. If you offend someone, be willing to say, hey, I take ownership for that and I apologize for it. But also, I am going to try to do better in this particular area. So I don't want you to look at things as a negative. Look at this clean out process and this closing door process as a process of you making space for your person. Make space for your new husband. Make space for your new wife. If you're a guy, I've heard some guys say, well, I want a wife, this, that, and the other. And I might have visited to their house. And when I look around their house, I'm like, well, I don't see where you have space for a woman here. If every ounce of your closet is filled with your items, if every ounce of your house already is furnished. I was speaking with one young man, and he had like a 5-bedroom house, and 4 bedrooms were already established. And he said, well, I think I'm going to do this with this bedroom. And I didn't know him well enough to say to him, honestly, I think you should leave that bedroom empty. If you're truly saying that you want a wife and you want to bring her here into this space, where does she fit in if every one of these rooms already has something in it? That's something to think about, isn't it, y'all? You have to make room for your person. So this is not something to say that we got to go dig deep into anything. Start with something simple, like just cleaning out your cell phone. So while you're sitting here over the holidays and you're doing what you do, sit there and just go through your phone. Begin to delete old phone numbers. And I'm not just talking about like men and women. I'm saying, like, I have phone numbers of old parents that I might have known when my kids were in elementary school, but I don't even remember who those parents are anymore. So make space clear out the storage. You know how our phone says, you got to go to storage. Mine does that now because I'm so close to capacity. But go to the storage, clean out some things, get rid of some pictures. If you got 3, 4, 5 pictures, sometimes I take 3 or 4 shots at one time just in case I'm blinking or something like that. It's the same picture. Get rid of some of them. And then just make space for your person. So I don't know why I was led to come back and say that to you guys, because I just did another video and it is actually Christmas Day. It is about 2 o'clock, maybe 2. Now it's probably about 2:10 in the morning, December 25th, 2025. And sometimes I date my videos just so you guys will know like when this actual video was recorded. So that if somebody is watching this 10 years from now, they'll be like, wow, this video is 10 years old, but the word that she gave is still relevant. So if you like my videos, I'd love for you to click like. I'd love for you to share it with a friend. And I would be delighted if you would join my channel, because as of today, I am trying to get to 200 members. And I am right now around, I think, 188. All right, you guys, Merry Christmas and have an awesome day today. And just do something special, not just through the presents. Do something special for somebody that may not have expected it. And, kiss the ones that you love. Give them a hug. Tell your children that you love them. Tell your spouse that you love them. Let them know today that you appreciate them. And so, again, this is Meditations with Marigny, and I have enjoyed sharing this little moment with you guys. All right, y'all have a great day. Bye.